At 12 o'clock, we have number 1, Georgia, ladies and gentlemen, which is 2-0, and honestly the best team in the country, and it's not even all that close. Maybe Ohio State, but Georgia looks absolutely dominant here, and they're traveling to South Carolina to go kick some Gamecock butt. Georgia favored by 24.5 points on ESPN. Stetson Bennett, through his first 2 games, has thrown the ball 66 times, actually, and he's completed 40 out of those 66 times. Threw for 668 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Kendall Milton had 18 carries for 135 yards and a touchdown, and Kenny McIntosh on the ground, their leading receiver, by the way, which I think is a point of worry. If you're the Georgia, I mean, there's not a lot of points of worry, but the fact that a running back is your leading receiver is not the greatest sign in the world. Kenny McIntosh has had 14 catches for 178 yards, and I understand that's a lot, but Brock Bowers is third on that list, and that needs to get higher, right? Brock Bowers is easily the most talented player on offense, and I think he needs to see the ball a lot more. Sorry, guys. Spencer Rattler, he had his struggles against Arkansas the other day. So did the defense. But Spencer Rattler did not make it easy for the Gamecocks to try and win that football game. Spencer Rattler, and it has gone 47-76 through his first 2 games, threw for 603 yards, 2 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, and had a 61.8% completion percentage. Marshawn Lloyd had 18 carries for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first 2 games. And Antoine Wells Jr. has had 15 catches for 244 yards and a touchdown. Now, Georgia's 53-19 against South Carolina all time. Last 2 games have gone to Georgia, and 6 of the last 7 have gone to Georgia. But remember, 3 years ago, I think now, South Carolina pulled off a huge upset against Georgia, and that really knocked Georgia out of the playoff well, they were still in the playoff conversation. They didn't make the playoffs, though, and it was in large part because of that loss against South Carolina. That was a big loss that they had. South Carolina is always a team that can kind of sneak up on you. Obviously, Georgia's got to be ready for that. But South Carolina, it's going through some growing pains underneath Beamer. And I honestly think Georgia's a much better football team. I feel like a lot of people would agree with me on that front. Georgia looks like the best team in the country, and I think they roll here against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Give me Georgia to cover that 4.5 point spread.